might be dropping frames somewhere. Haha, it's fine. It's gonna be okay. Welcome on in. How's your day going? How? I mean, since the last time you've been here, I think it's been a good week. So how was your week? Busy, rainy, never ending. I mean, yeah, that can happen. That can happen. Yeah, yeah. No, I could see that happen. Stony, hi. I was about to send you a message. That is perfect timing. No, not message as, you know, the regular message. You, we fine. Have a good look. It's probably somewhere else. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have work to do, as you just said. You are busy. So if you're busy, you can't be here all the time, which is fine. I appreciate you being here sometimes. That's good enough for me. That is good enough for me. I have some news. Yeah, me too. I mean, not really, but kind of me too. I don't know if it's gonna look good, mainly because it is tiny around here, and you know, tiny. So, you know, eh, eh. Piccolo, hi, look on it. Let me put you
Hugo
in
K. Bernardo just resubscribed for 27 months.
See, no, not such a bad friend. Oh, you know what? Light mode is way too light with this contrast thingy that I have. Anyways, forget about it. Marmalade, hi. Hugo, thanks a lot for the resub, I appreciate it. Enjoy the emotes, enjoy the no ads. I do appreciate the no ads. Always good. Always good. And yeah, I mean, I'm unemployed as well, which is kind of sad, but can't do anything about it. Anyways, this this is pretty cool. Um, it works. Yay me! Yay me! It's right there. You have it now. So this at the bottom, which I think I'm gonna need to zoom in, um, and not be on this view. I feel like this scene is not necessarily the best for this, but as a from far away, it's going to work. So the bottom navigation is swipeable to have like the on swipe. So if I release when Paris is the one that is selected, it's going to move to Paris. If I release when I'm on the plus, it's going to trigger the initial page to have like the add new place for me. That's pretty good. But also it works on tap. So if I just tap the icon instead of navigating or scrolling, whatever, it just works. Same thing on the plus or the search bar. So that's really cool for me. It makes it really good because right here, for example, I have, because I just clicked the plus is the currently active tab, meaning that before, meaning on Wednesday when I showed you that, it it wasn't tappable, but now if I tab again, it triggers the thing. So now I have this working, which is really good. I simplified some of the form for creating like a new place that is just for me. You will never see that, so fine it. And yeah, that's really good so far. Really good. I do appreciate that, but as I said last time, the only thing that I'm missing right this instant, cat, hi, welcome, is this. I need this whole list of things to be populated with the 333 places that I have curated. And sadly, right now, everything's in Japan. And most of the things are in Japan. Like the places in France are really limited. The places in Japan are a tad more. I think I have like triple the amount. God damn. But it's a starting point. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyways, That's a very good news. That's a very good news. Let me read the chat because I missed a lot of things. You said you disappointed me. Why? Thank you. Um. Oh, you haven't learned Japanese on Duolingo for 31 days. Well, that happens. Did you learn Japanese on Can instead? Um. You know, Max, welcome back.
It's muscle time!
Can you wait? For fuck's sake. Um. So the corporate design of the new White House again. Interesting. Um, I have not seen that one. And then catching up. Am I catching up on everything? Um, shit happens. Yes, that is a good thing. Um, it's pretty good. Oh, there you go. Oh. So yes, only three, always three, no more. I can't do more than that. I'm training arms in the gym, not every day, but like often, and doing pull-ups is just no good. When you do five and you do as much as I do in a stream, you would reduce it really quickly to two or three. Because goddamn, you and your points. Hmm? Uh, I had like a not job interview, but like I had a thing where I applied to a company, and they sent me a message last week saying, um, I am receiving a ton of applicants, so bear with us. It's going to take a bit longer than expected. And then today, that was last week, so a week later, it just came back to me saying, based on the amount of applicant that we had, some of the applicants were more aligned with what we are looking for. So there's that, and you were not selected again. So that's a thing. I received another one as well that said something similar as technical for applying, though no. So okay, and yeah, I mean, everything is just it's just bad, and I applying to jobs don't work. Doesn't work, which is why I'm spending my time on building apps for myself and potentially releasing apps for myself. The sad part about that is that it's not paying me enough to sustain myself. So maybe, go there, try something. I mean, if you just use the app, it doesn't pay me anyway, so that's kind of sad. But yeah. You have to do assisted pull-ups today. Yeah, assisted is really good. I think when I was learning how to do pull-ups, which wasn't that long ago, to be honest, it was basically 2 years ago when I moved into this flat. It's been more than 2 years, but basically I have the bar, and I'm just standing up on the box and doing reversed pull-ups, so just holding and holding and then just slowly dying because I can't hold. And that gave me like a lot of scapular strengths in terms of reverse because I was controlling to ensure that I was just going slow. That helped a ton. And then the regular scapular shrugs, where you're just hanging and you just move like not your lats, but basically as if you were trying to engage your lats in the pull-ups. That helps a ton just by hanging. I know you have wrists that are not the same as mine. I'm gonna say that, and so that is kind of sad. But yeah, reverse are really good. That's all I'm saying. The machine is okay. The machine is gonna target your lats, like lower lats, more than your back. So that's a good thing. And yeah, I need to do the social way of finding a job, and I hate it. It's really sad. I wish I didn't have to. If I wanted to find a job, still. I mean, right now with the stock market kind of crashing, that means that my cushion of available cash is reducing itself, which is kind of sad. So I can't really, you know. Yeah, the thing is, assisted is gonna target the whole back, which is really good, but um, like the overall issue is that you, as a general human, um, is on pull-ups. Usually, you're trying to do a movement that is pretty straight. I know, not your style, but still, compared to what would target the whole back at once, which is more of a curve E to do like a muscle up. And it doesn't really matter at the end of the day if it's just the beginning, but it's going to target your lats a tad more in the beginning. That's all I'm saying. Unless you do close hold, like the one that I do most of the time, which is like close hand. That's easier. Also, way easier to do. So yeah. I don't save my dollar under my pillow. No, no. I have my accountant that take care of my savings. But I haven't. It's been like 3 weeks of me thinking about sending her a message, saying, how's you? How's everything? How's the new house? You know, and all that. But I haven't. I might have to. Which sounds weird. Like I hate it because we have a relationship which is mostly friendly. Like she was a friend of my dad, and then when my dad died, she took care of us in terms of financial things, my sister and me, and therefore just sending her like texts when things are kind of looking scary in terms of financials feels not agreeing to the contract of we are friends and we just like just because my dad was nice kind of and she's nice then she likes us and we likes her. That I don't know, it's kind of weird. So I'm reticent to sending her a text, but also I kind of need to. But yeah, anyways, details. It's probably going down less because most of the savings that she's doing is French, obviously. But can you work? Thank you. But yeah, that's a thing. Nonetheless, what the fuck was I saying? That works. It was just a test. I did this whole thing, and then today I've been going through this 77 videos boot camp about Swift UI. And it's really good to see, at least for me, that since I started not learning, but like using SwiftUI for building apps in November, everything in there so far in the first 21 videos have been things I know. So that is pretty good. That's bad, cat. You shouldn't do that. But yeah, today I learned that if I do this, I have that option. I can extract that as a subview. So the amount of time that I had to say, I'm going to need to extract that specific element, Larkham, hi, welcome on in. I need this exact element to be reusable somewhere. And I had to ask the AI saying, can we extract that into a new file, something? I didn't know that I could just right click, extract, and have that done. So, you know, that's a good thing to know now. I also learned that if I'm here on this curly bracket and I double click it, guess what? It highlights the entire thing. So it highlights in yellow so that I can see like the beginning and the end of the specific functions or view or whatever that is in there. But if I have something that is a tad bit more complex, like let's say I'm going into my main view, which is massive, if I double click on this, it's going to highlight, god damn it, it's going to highlight the whole thing and give me or send me back to the bottom, exact bottom of that specific container so that I can just know, oh, it was this one, therefore I know exactly what to do. So that is really good. And I didn't know about that, and I learned that today. So, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So far in that whole thing, I learned, again, not learned, but learned the basic of Xcode, which is what I already knew, the basics of shapes, which is pretty good. I learned something about backgrounds that I didn't know about, and kind of frame. So that's good. And then the rest, I kind of knew everything. So far, I learned something on the scroll views. I needed to learn that. And then inits and enums is good. The for each is what I did today, earlier today, and it pissed me off still. It's fine. I'm gonna figure it out one day for real, but it's something that I kind of know. And yeah, everything in there is really good. I do like the new states, add states, and right now we are taking a look at bindings, which is a bit different but kind of similar. So that's really good. Their video are kind of short, I guess. Usually, like they are in the 12 to 20 minutes videos in general. However, I watch them at almost 2x speed because, I mean, I, I, I figured that when I'm rewatching my streams after, like, I'm needing to do something and edit the video or something, I feel like I speak really, really slowly. But when I'm speaking, I don't feel like I'm speaking slowly. So it probably is the same case for these people. But also, I'm used to listen to videos at 1.7. So, the middle. Anyways, that is good progress for me. I will not start from scratch, but at least right now, I know that I could, in here, for example, in the, let's go into Bento grid because that's basically what I'm thinking about. The range that is going to take a while to load, the range of people that are available when it's like, is it a busy place? Is it a quiet place? Something that is not known, whatever. In the beginning, in my initial IDs, I wanted to have something that was kind of like a chart, which has a bit of a curve of really quiet to spiky. A lot of people are there, and that's kind of noisy. So noise level. But then, like this thing right here. But then I learned that you have a thing that is called a gouge. I think that's how it's called. Or I think in French it's rouge. But that's the thing. It's a this element which is low, middle, high of an option exist as a default. And so I could have used that by default to have like my 3 values and just display like a nice dashboard, like car dashboard needle that showcase things instead of this thing. So, it's nice to know. It's nice to know. Nonetheless, kind of details. But that's a fun thing. At least I'm learning things. And yeah. And the IDE itself is just Xcode. Xcode is not that good, but it's not as bad as people make it sound it is. But also you can't really use anything else if you want to see what you're doing. So VS Code or Cursor right here doesn't really give me the ability to have a preview of what I'm working on. So I'm juggling between this one, doing some edits here, and then going here, and then doing the preview to check if it works, and then sending that to my phone. That's a bit redundant. The other thing that I do love about VS Code compared to Xcode is like, if I double click on background and then I do a Command D, for example, it's going to select and put a secondary cursor in a different place. Every time that there is the word background in that whole file, highlights them and give me like a cursor, as you can see right here, during or inside of the whole file. So that way I can edit something really quickly. If I know that I have something that is called corner radius 10, and instead of being 10, they all need to be 12, I can highlight corner radius 10 and then Command D to find all the other ones. Just type that, change that to 12, be good with it. That's really useful. If I do that here and I say, oh, I need to change my spacing 12 to something else, and I do Command D, it just duplicates the fucking thing. It's just not what you're supposed to do. Chipotle, hi, welcome. It is pretty good. It's just not just. It's pretty good for what it's meant to do. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna create an HTML file in Xcode. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna create my website in here. Probably not a good idea. But if I need to create a SwiftUI app, I'm gonna use that. Not just, but like mainly because I have like something like here, for example, when I just say I need a gouge, I have the ability to have the presetted things pre-filled for me. So I can just say, well, this is the thing that I need. And I have my values, I have my range, I have my labels, and all the things. And that is something that I can't have in Cursor. Prototype tutorial. Prototype what type, Elvis? Also, hi, welcome in. What type of prototype do you need? Prototype in Figma, prototype in here. That's the video. You have to use a link that is an image login. Like the only links that I accept is Figma links or image links. And if you don't want people to see the content, which is kind of weird, You send them on Discord. If you don't care, which is probably what you should do, um, you do like a message in chat for now. Thank you for that. Figma, I have a video on prototyping in Figma already. Rive, I hate it, so I'm not gonna do that. Let me rephrase that because it sounds really bad. I love Rive. I think it's a very good tool. I think it's compelling. I think it's a tool that is probably the future. It doesn't click in my head. There's something in there that just doesn't work. And I wish I could, but it doesn't. Chris, hi. That's something else. um, that's pretty good. I mean, take care on the crash. Make sure that you're not dead. Um, yeah, I think the like, I think the ability to expand and export Rive's animations for your devs is really, really good. I absolutely agree with that. However, it's just so much more complex than it needs to be. At least for me. Like the whole system of the how's it fucking called? The gamepad is not the gamepad. The logic thing. The state machine. State machine is the fucking name. The whole logic of the state machine doesn't make sense in my head yet. And I have tried. I have watched their videos and it pissed me off every time. Like most of the video that they have here, um, and they have like presentations and things. It's just like they're specific, like the buttons that's resized, which is, I mean, not even this one. The tutorial that they have made for creating buttons, I think that that's the one that kind of really pissed me off, because it's good. But is it this one? Yes, it is. It is an 11-minute video of how to create a button. And yes, they do have something that Figma cannot do, which is the kind of bendy effect on, like, I mean, if I go in the beginning, that kind of jiggly thing is something that I can't really do in Figma. But creating a button in Figma that does the exact same thing is taking me as a tutorial, as me creating a tutorial and creating a video, probably between 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and maybe 5 if I'm explaining everything. But it feels like a lot of steps and a lot of hoops to then potentially have something. And because I don't understand exactly how to log in and not log in, but like link it properly with the code, because I'm not necessarily an engineer. Not necessarily, I'm not an engineer. It just doesn't make sense. So, Jira is pretty good, yes. Yeah, basically, the thing is, the Figma tutorial for the buttons is just this. Text tool, type, button, done. That's 40, so that's massive. Let's do something at 20, that makes more sense. You're good. Shift A, you have your things, you change your values to have like 16, for example. You add a fill so that it has a bit of a color in the background to get like something that they had, it was kind of blue. Let's do that. And then you make sure that it has radius. 16, maybe. It was kind of really hard radius. And this needs to be like a component. So you create a component, you create a variant. That variant is going to be either bigger or smaller. I don't know exactly. It depends. Um, but it's going to be kind of darker. That's usually what they do on hover. Then on click, it might be a bit like brighter or even darker on click. But that's the thing. And you then just say prototype while hovering, this is what happens. And then on click on this one, this is what happens. And then when my mouse leave, it goes back to this. And that's it. This thing is now done. I have access to this. I can launch a prototype. My buttons work. You zoom in a bit, right? Hover, good. Click, darker, and then remove things. Just made a mistake on this one with this, which is supposed to be while pressing instead of on click. But you know. Dang. Done. 30 seconds. Maybe a minute. Thank you. Again, you just want me to go pee every 5 seconds, I see. So, you know, it it's just this specific video pissed me off just because it is 11 minutes. I get it. And I feel like 11 minutes for something like this would make way more sense. Having like an interactive characters that will react to your cursor or to something else that you have defined. This is way more impressive to me and more logical to learn. But their whole thing, like it's just, I get it. Most of the people that are working with Rive are making amazing things, and I kind of envy them, most of them, because I can't do that just yet. And it would make my life way easier. I agree with that. Like, for example, the thing that I'm building here, the main view, which contains that kind of weird ass navigation that I just did yesterday, this thing that has the ability to just, like, kind of, it's really on the side, like, has the ability to kind of, you know, rotate with the user. That is kind of fun to see or have. And also it's kind of broken because I'm not in the content view, but that's a detail for me. It just makes more sense from my point of view to have this in code rather than having it in a RAI file. But creating this in a RAI file will take me probably 30 minutes to an hour, whereas to achieve this, it took me 2 days in code using AI, not knowing anything. So, you know, debates everywhere. Yeah, I do agree with that. I do agree with the fact that it is like absolute beginners, but it's also kind of, I don't think I'm gonna say that. I don't think absolute beginners in Rive are absolute beginners designers. I think they are mostly designers that have seen the tool and are beginner in the tool, but they understand how design tools kind of work, which is why it pisses me off, because their tool, as a general rule, makes no sense. Like that view, if you are a designer coming from a design tool, you are expecting your layers, your inspector, and your tools. And then you have this thing for prototype, which is, right, it's the same thing as a prototype in Figma, which I get. But it's vertical tabs that don't really resize properly, sub tabs inside of your vertical tabs, event listener that you need to define yourself when technically when you are looking at Figma or Photoshop or Sketch, You don't need an event listener. You just, like, if you say there is a click here, the system knows that there is like an event listener linked to the click itself, because I mean that's the point. That's the point of a click. It's an event listener. So all of that makes no sense. Like, there is a lot of complexity that could be abstracted. It's really sad. I do love everything they do, though. That's the sad part for me. Like, the all the content that they're pushing, all of these interactions, that cat hand is just such an amazing illustration and concept that, it's just good. It's just good. Other than that, I feel like it's a very big learning curve in order to achieve similar amount of like results that After Effects could give you. Debatable. But kinda could give you. And even though After Effects is really bad and heavy and annoying, and they don't listen to you as a user when you are requesting features, things, you need to use plugins to have that, and Rive is just, oh, you want that? Yeah, here, you got it. Like, that's really good from them. But it's just so much more complex. And specifically, like, that kind of car dashboard thing that you see in the video in the beginning, that is, how can I say that? Really good, but also I would do that in code directly if I know exactly which platform I'm going to use or have to use it in. I would rather have that coded in pure code than in an animation software that has some code in the background that I can't really touch. So, I don't know. I do love everything they do, though. Not gonna deny that. Like, most of this is crazy. This is crazy. It's if I had to create a game, maybe, but yes, it does feel like Flash. I agree. Flash was really great, and amazing overall. Like, I built some of my first games in Flash. Uh, you know, but goddamn, like, the learning curve for this thing seems so massive that I don't know. Shit, that's so good. Like, I'm trying to fucking have text follow a path on my uh, Japanese learning app, and I can't in Swift. And then they pop off this, which is gonna give me the exact curve I need, and I could do my navigation directly. But yeah, that, I mean, Chris, that sounds like a you issue. But yeah. So, Elvis on YouTube, I think overall, the tutorials and things that I would potentially do are going to be things that are either in tools that I know entirely, as in the prototype, advanced prototyping here. It's a very simple 3 minutes video here. You have another one here for like interactive prototype with a bit of a transition in between elements, and another one here for pattern design. So most of these things are going to give you some sort of a tutorial on prototyping. But, that, other than that, I don't really have much on prototyping. I have that latest one, which is not on prototyping, but, things. But you're already here, right there. So appreciate it. Let me go back on the chat because I missed 95% of the thing that you were saying. You just well, I mean, Adobe XD had. I know you were joking on the Adobe XD things, but Adobe XD has had features that I wish Figma had, which is like, um, really sad to say. And some of the features have been kind of implemented, but there are some things in Sketch and some things in XD that should have been implemented in Figma already, because it's been 6 years since I used XD and Sketch, and these are features that I used back then, or plugins that I used back then. So, that's an annoying thing. A Figma link is okay, yes. A Figma link is okay as long as it's either in here, like in the design help thingy, or if you want to send me a DM, you could do that. If you want to share it in the chat, you can do that as well. And Chris, yes, I think I could technically be here. I think Rive is built for game designers rather than designers. So game designers being dev with a visual instinct, which is how I describe them. Yes, if you're a dev, you have a greater understanding of how it works. The thing is, it doesn't. It 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 is so close to being code and so close to being design that it's the same thing that I have an issue with Total, with Webflow, not with Framer for some reason, which is I know enough to know that it could be faster in a design tool or in code. And right now, it takes me 16 clicks to do something that should take a line of code 6 clicks in Figma. Like, that's the amount of frustration that I have. I understand that the results that I'm getting is better and lighter, but goddamn, is it annoying. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I'm reading this. Maybe. As someone that is a designer, and also that's one of the reasons, because Rive has been targeted toward designers, I was expecting a design tool. And they are marketing it as a design tool, a design animation tool. And so, as a designer that has a background in animation, my major, kind of, if that's the word in English, was in animation. So I was expecting an animation tool, meaning something that looks like an animation tool. Similarly to what Elvis has said, jitter is something that is kind of similar. Fiber is something that is kind of similar in terms of animation tool. There is another one that is called, it has an R as well. I forgot the name. There is a third one that is pretty interesting in terms of animation tools that are only on the browser. And these look like animation tools where you have your Canva in the center, and then at the bottom you have your timeline, and your effects are on the right side, which makes sense. But Rive is just so much not that it threw me off. So, eh. Also, that is true. That is true. I don't, and Tripolis, I don't know if the buttons that you were talking about was related to Rive buttons or something else. So, debatable. I don't know. But I don't know, same thing, I don't know if you can create like a button and define that this button can be reused and integrated in the code and used in the code with different types of of words, or if you need to have like multiple Rive files with different words in them, which I think would be impractical from an app point of view, specifically because Duolingo, for example, is using Rive for their animations. I think it's mostly for the transition animations, visual elements and not words-based elements. So, like, I doubt the buttons are Rive-based, but we never know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I have caught up, kind of, roughly, almost. But yeah, it's I just I love and hate Rive so much, which I hate it because I can't figure it out. So that's frustration on my side. And I love it because they are doing everything kind of right in terms of marketing, presentation, the team that they have, the designers that work there, the one that are showcasing things every day on many platforms. And I can see, like, we are building something new. We are building something that is like just working. And that is kind of crazy. So when I'm looking at this, for example, I see this as this could become a new VTuber file, basically, or file format, where you have something that could react to your camera because you can bind your camera to a face rig in Rive. So you could have a VTuber model running on a browser source using your camera in the browser on stream, rather than having like a full-on VTuber model running on the secondary software. Like, that's an option. And with an integration with the Stream Deck, if you press a button that could be related to a very specific like keybind and give you a reaction or something, I don't know, it seems like really good, but also the learning curve. They have like a ton of, like, Dimitri being one of the designers, being like a really good designer, no less, and renowned designers with other activities. When he's basically showcasing something and explaining what has been done in Rive, like directly, is pretty good. So, you know, it's not really onboarding, but it's still educational to an extent. Mostly, I think the latest one that I've seen has been on where is it? I mean, right now they have added this thing, which is really my stuff, but you know, details. But you know, most of the content is not. I agree with you that it's not like onboarding tutorials, but it's still educational, and I would say they're all videos on YouTube are really, really the two extremes. At least for me, they look like the two extremes. They look like you know nothing, and they assume that you know nothing, which is good, but also the people that are interested in Rive know kind of something about design tools, or you know the tool exactly how it's supposed to work, and therefore if you don't, you're kind of lost. And if you are in the middle, which is my case, I just don't understand. And there was someone that was here in chat earlier, not today, but like some months ago, that was doing some things in Rive and sharing like some of the creations, which was really good. So, you know, it's pretty good. Race Peace Day. Hi, what calling? How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Thanks for chatting. Appreciate it. Yeah, I wish I figured it out as well. I do love the fact that you can access and build things that are as interactive and as vectorized as we used to be able to, but with that interactivity layers that we didn't have when I started designing. Like these aqua buttons in macOS didn't exist or were not reactive like this, or not as much or as good. So achieving this is really cool. But same thing, like here, I do not understand how he achieved this. Like I just see that it's working. How the fuck do I do that? That's the question. That's the usual question. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. And Jira is really good. Again, like something that I shared today. Rive has added, that's tiny. Rive has added this animation. I received that today. With like the adding XPs to your progress. And then this one as well. Dang, that's really tiny. This is new. Not much, but that's kind of new. You know, details. So that was interesting, at least to see. And these illustrations, at least from what we've heard, all made in Rive. So overall, it's used, but it feels, at least to me, it feels like it's really, really a long time to learn the thing. And every time I try like 5 times. It just doesn't work. So yeah. I think the initial thing, your question, Elvis, of how to create like vector characters or vector things in Figma is what I used to do on Tuesday when I used to stream on Tuesdays. We used to have assignment Tuesdays, and these were to create things that are not necessarily something that you are supposed to see in Figma. As in, this is one of the example where I just, you know, I I did that. And yes, this is 100% a Figma file. It is based on an image, but this whole thing is an editable file with potentially like different colors, different aspect ratio, different things to make sure that you have like the ability to change whatever. And so that is something that you can do in order to practice creating a vector elements in Figma file. And if you want to create something that is similar to the how of Duolingo, it's really good. They have kind of removed it, but they used to have a design philosophy that was simple shapes. I think, let me check. I think Behance still have the Duolingo design philosophy file. I'm not sure now. I can't type that. Ah, that's the wrong word. I don't know if they will have it. I doubt it. I think, yeah, this one might help. Let me see if I can do that. I have doubts now because I haven't done that in years now. I can apparently do that. That's crazy. This one is like I just followed the lines. But this is really simple, and as soon or as long as you are able to create rectangles, you should be able to create rounded rectangles. And when you are able to create rounded rectangles, you should be able to rotate your content to get the thing that you want to have. So they are showcasing in this whole file or this whole blog post, which dates now. Can they shut the fuck up? Please? My Japanese class for tomorrow is basically just trying to get everyone to uh, give out what they did as homework. So, god damn it. Anyways, so that whole thing is explaining how they have decided to design Duolingo illustrations and whole system. This one is really simple. Their whole blog about the branding is really good, not just this one, like most of them. So I would highly recommend you to get a look at it and take a look, potentially read the things for knowing how to. Reminder as well for anyone that is building the tools and softwares and all that. This was the initial Duolingo, and this was the initial Duolingo OWL. And then it evolved into something that is much more appealing, and now it's even different, even more different than that. So, this has changed over the years. Nonetheless, this is an article from 2020. It changed since then already. And this is a way of doing things. If you join, I can't really do that. I don't have the buttons. I wish you were on Twitch, not on YouTube, because the links works better on on Twitch. I will figure out the things. Anyways, if you join the Discords, which is somewhere in the descriptions, there is the previous Assignment Tuesdays assignments with things that other people, including some of the people that are currently in chat, on Twitch that have built like some of the creation. Like Benny have been trying to recreate this thing, and that were their attempt, which is pretty good as a starting point. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Sorry, it's not you, it's my notifications. This makes no sense. I said shut the fuck up. One second. Can I D&D myself right there? Like, is that an option? Yes, there is Discord channel. There's Twitch channel. Let me give you the link directly. I think it's gonna be easier if I just copy paste this. I have doubts in my ability to send it to you directly, but I'm gonna check. Maybe that works. I don't know. It seems to work, at least. It's a bit of an annoying thing because I have the PC that is here and YouTube is on the PC, and the Mac is where Twitch is, but it's also where I work, so it's complicated to navigate chats. I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, in all of that, there is like a ton of things that we have created in the past, as in this one, for example, where I wasn't really happy with what I built the first time. Like I kind of did something, but it was kind of shit. So did it again, much better. But these were like kind of attempt of recreation. The goal of these, or the easiness of these, are basically you go on whatever platform you like. So if you like Dribble, or if you like Behance, or if you want like something else, you find something that you kind of find interesting, and this is an image, and then you go on the image and you just trace over. It's that easy. You trace over, you make sure that you have all of the content that you need, and you understand how things are supposed to be made, and then you just build that in Figma, in Sketch, in whichever tools you use, until you feel confident enough to achieve things without really having to need an image in the background. So right now, based on the fact that I have done many of these throughout the years. Here you don't have plenty of them, but there is some. It is now easier for me to create or add these illustrations inside of an app as a potential addition, I would say, without really having to think about it. Like if I need a corner, I kind of know how to do a corner that is peeled as an illustration rather than having to think about it more and all that. So that's a thing that is pretty useful. And it's just a matter of gradients and gradient creations. So yeah. Uh, so that's the base that I would recommend you if you want to learn how to create these illustrations, and specifically the characters. It's just find an image of something that is looking challenging to you and an attempt to potentially duplicate it inside of the tools of choice that you have. So if you are someone that is working in Figma, do that in Figma. If you're someone who works in PowerPoint, do that in PowerPoint. It's feasible in PowerPoint. It's just annoying. It just takes more time. But when you look at them, or when you look at the illustration thing that I have done in the past, it is very, very simple overall. Most of these, as I posted on Twitter in the beginning, this was in 2024, this one took me 12 minutes to do the entire thing, mainly because the illustration itself, or the pictures itself, is really, really simple. The composition is really simple. So yeah. Yes. Shadows and gradients are the base of any physical feeling for a UI element. So that's gonna, as soon as you understand that, which apparently you already have, you're gonna be pretty good. You're gonna be pretty good. It's gonna take you like 5 seconds to understand something. We did that last Monday, I think. Friday, Monday, Friday. Last Friday. We had like a thing about shadows. Chris in Twitch chat asked a question about buttons, and we kind of did something. I almost made a video about it. I could. I didn't. But yeah, there is plenty of things in there that are kind of going to give you a bit of a hint of what you could achieve in Figma, in illustrations and things. So that's a good thing, I guess. I guess that could work. I'm so unsure of chat on YouTube, though. That makes no sense. Thank you. So first of all, I appreciate it. Thank you. But I, weirdly enough, I don't consider it my work, which I know sounds weird, but I don't consider this to be something that I made. I did, but because it's coming from something else, it's coming from someone else has created this initial illustration design, and I just duplicated it. Like this is the initial thing that I found, and I found it interesting, so I redid it in Figma. But it was made in another tool and was made by someone else. So that's why I'm like, I don't really take the credit for the creations. My ability to duplicate, yes, 100%, I take the credit for that. But like this 3D things is not necessarily Um, yeah, I did do it. Yes, I did. I did. But still, like I take more credit on this, for example, which is something that I uh, build myself, kind of having like the concept of transitions and the concept of animations for some elements. Like for example, this one is a conditional, time-based, or use-based uh, transitions. So in the first two, it's like full colors, really highlighting your face because you haven't used the features yet. And then third and fourth, it's highlighted, but it's not that necessary. And then fifth and so on until the feature is not deemed as new anymore. It's going back to the default. So if a user decides to just use this feature once, it's going to just remain in bright colors, as in this is new. It's something for you that you can try and you can use. And if you figure out that it's useful for you and you use it like 5 times in the same day, well, you know how it works. We don't need to advertise it as something that needs to happen. And that's a thinking system that I kind of had for a long, long time. They built this for my previous company, and I don't think they have put it in place. I have doubts, but you know, it, I take more credits on that than on this. I would take credits on the complexity. Is it here? No, it's lower down. The complexity of this one, for example. That's one frame. That was fun. That's a single shape. This is a rectangle, which is the frame, with gradients, like angular gradients, and that's it, and nothing else. So that is more impressive, from my point of view. But you know, debatable. Still debatable. But yeah, it's an interesting things. Like same thing here. Like that, I got credited for the creation of this, which pissed me off because I've been credited in someone else's video, saying that I built this, and they gave credit to me for basically creating this or sharing this on Twitter, and that's wrong because I didn't, but I understand. Um, but I did it. It feels so weird. Anyways, details and things. Yeah, there's a ton of things in there that are really good. There are some that I failed at, which is nice to see as well. You know, failing like this one, I haven't finished it. Um, yeah, I mean, you can change the names if you think that it's better to have like privacy. Do that. Yes, 100%. Yeah, this one is not. Yeah, you've missed things, but yeah. So going back to your initial questions, if you want to build some things or learn how to build illustrations, like 3D-ish illustrations, uh, God damn it, I knew you were doing something,
One line
Stony.
raided my stream with 14 viewers.
I blame you. I blame you for the raid. Welcome on in. One line. Thanks a lot for the raid. I appreciate it. For those of you who don't know me, hi. I'm AOA. I'm the helping designer. If you have any design question, feel free to ask. As always, I'll be welcome to help. Welcome to help. Happy to help. That goddamn. That's the welcome in that threw me out. But yeah, we do a lot of design things around here. I'm building an app, which is not working, but it's interesting. And I've built my first app for learning Japanese last month without any knowledge of code. So clap to me. And it works. Thanks a lot, Lachlan. Appreciate it. And you were talking about AI. I see. I see. Was it in a positive way or in a negative way? I think it's a negative way with positive outcomes, but currently negative outcomes. Uh, it's just bad. Why Japanese? Because I lived there for 2 years and I'm learning Japanese. I have class tomorrow. I've been on a very specific, um, how can I say that? Duolingo streak of a certain amount of days for Japanese. So, you know, why not continue? Dapshi, hi, what funny. Um, take a post stream break. Yes, 100%. 100%. In a discussion way. That's good. That is good. I mean, I'm using it every day. So, um, like basically the apps that I've built, the entirety of the apps that I've built so far, just two, is made entirely through Cursor. And it works. And it's neat and it's fun and I like whatever I did. Like these effects are really cool. The concept are really nice. Like it stands out for me. I like that. But you know, debates and things. But I get it. I get it. I think for those of you who are coming from the raid and were talking about AI earlier, personal take is that AI is great for people like me that have no understanding of code but still are interested in building something. But there is a limit on what we can do. And it also creates garbage. As in, if you are dev and you have knowledge, AI is going to be way more powerful in your hands than in mine. Because when something is going to be explained or done or created, you can say, well, this is not going to work, or that's way too complex or way too simple for what we're trying to achieve. So I'm just going to tweak the output that the AI is doing and then have something better. But it's also, I think Salma, White Panther, probably know them, has said that many times, which is AI coding, at least, is generating something that has been built in the past. It can't really think through a new type of problem and find a solution for that new type of problem. You need to have had this issue before in order for the model to have been trained to understand the patterns that needs to happen. So that is kind of sad in the way that for a human, if we take the same example, a human doesn't know something, encounter the thing for the first time, might remember it or might not remember it, but in the second time might have like a bit of a memory of, oh yeah, we did that before. In order for an AI model to remember something, it needs millions of inputs of the exact same thing to figure it out and say, oh, that seems to be a pattern, that seems to be repeating, that seems to be common, that seems to be something that I could potentially recommend and use. And like a human would take a week, an AI would take the amount of people that are exactly looking to do the exact same thing, which is limited. We are not asking for questions in code, but still. So overall, like to me, I think the the bootstrap, not really. The initial push that it gave me as having the ability to say, this is the requirements that I have for this app. I need most of the files that are necessary or are going to be necessary for this app. and then it generated the things which were really bad in terms of design and things. And then um, I just added things like new components, new effects, new potentials, and played with that. But yeah, like there is a ton of things in there that just makes no sense to me. Still, so I don't generate AI images. EI images? No, images from AI. I feel like this is kind of weird. The current best is gonna be accessible to you, Midjourney, accessible to other people. LibLib is pretty good. Um, you probably don't know what it is. uh, LibLib is pretty good. Um, I do like. I mean, I I can go over that question. Yes, 100%. Like this is pretty impressive of an AI generation for a model that is basically new. Um, like this is an impressive thing. As you can see, like this has a dual face, which is kind of weird. But having the ability to have a character do almost a 360 perfectly is not something that we used to have in the past. So that's impressive. That's LibLib. This is a Chinese version of an aggregator of multiple AI generators models. So it's ton of there, which is really good. And if I scroll too much, I'm gonna see some porn. So I'm gonna not do that. Um, so for example, you are indicating that you're using AI for the programming, but how do you feel about programmers using AI to do UI design? I think it's a great thing that programmers can do UI through AI. However, the current state of UI through AI, that's going to be weird, is limited. It is the same thing as what I just said for code. I think that also it is my understanding, so it's limited understanding. But the creation that you can have on UI generated things. I just posted a video on YouTube about Galileo AI, which is a tool that we tested a year ago, and we tried out again last week, or at the beginning of the no, last week, and it was shit, still shit. But overall, the creation of the AI is usually not that good. Usually not that good. But I'm not scared. Like, I'm not someone that is scared of my job security, first of all, because I've been unemployed for 2 years, so I don't really give a shit anymore. But also, I have other skills that you can't really access as a, so far at least, not yet, as an AI model, which is the relationship in between things, the pattern recognition of my brain is so weird that an AI cannot recognize the pattern recognition that I have. They have their own, which is really good, but I mean, brain works weird. Bones, hi, work on it. I should close redesign of the data import utility. Generated this video with the redesign, and I thought it looks pretty decent to generate something that conveyed a lot of improvement. Yeah, I think um I mean, if we go on Galileo, because that was a pretty bad outcome, but still a pretty like good outcome in a way. Um, did we lost the things? Apparently we lost them. That's crazy. Like the past things right there, not there. But this is interesting as an output, right? You have a decent nav bar, you have a decent card system, and the header is making a lot of sense. Like it's really simple, but it kind of works. It's the same. You have cards and graphs. Like so far, that's fine. And I think if that tool can give the devs the ability to go for something that is better than their initial thoughts, and then not need me to go through that, I'm happy with it. Like if I go onto Clarkio file, if I can find it, god damn it, where you at? Clark, where you at? You're supposed to be right there. Right there. Um, Clarkio, which is currently live on Twitch, shameless plug for them, is building like a word on stream uh, widgets for the stream, right? And that's the design that they came up with, which is, as I said at the time, very dev like, right? Thank you. So this is using the most boring and basics elements from anything in terms of browser source. And so that is a dev design. And if you put that into Claude and Claude gives you like an output that is cleaner, I like that a lot. But if he just decided to use Chad CN or Tailwind as a base for the UI here, it would already be pretty good. And you wouldn't have to think too much about it. Like right now, I think the redesign is in Tailwind, which is pretty simple. However, this is the generation that you could have in a dev brain, but the AI might change some of the placements, might reorganize some things, and then you have me that is creating this, which is a designer point of view on how to improve the widget itself to be working in any cases, but be integrated in the word on stream kind of browser source so that the players will have access to the benefits of the widgets while still seeing words on stream interface. So with that in mind, I don't think, personally speaking, that an AI model right now would have the ability to say, oh yeah, well, based on this, which is our current state of the game that we're trying to play with, we're gonna extend this section, remove that thing, change these values to remove the rotation, and do all of that on their like from their own thinking of AI models to then generate like an overlay that is going to be just added on top of the browser source in your OBS file in your OBS scene. So you know, like that's why I'm not really scared of it and really much for it, as in it makes more sense in my from my point of view to have like a bit of a dev getting into something that is more visually appealing at the end of the day to ensure that you have something that makes sense and that works with what you had in mind and that just looks better and could potentially like just make you if you are building a tool that will be paid, you might reach more people because it looks better, you know. So overall better design is better all the times. So, you know, that's a good thing. Um, but as a based thing, from my point of view of a designer to devs, use Tailwind, use ShadCN, pretty good. If you have a designer, use Lovable and a designer, and plug like the design of Figma directly into Lovable, and Lovable is going to recognize that. There is a new tool that is called Bolt. Bolt, I think. I think it's Bolt. That is basically the same thing as what we just talked about of Lovable, but a tad better. Let me see if it was on Twitter. I saw that. I doubt it. I think it's on Threads. But I don't know. Haven't seen anything there. Uh, no, it's probably on Threads. You are not allowed here. Also, I absolutely forgot to post on these two platforms again. um, good. It depends where you want to do that, but yeah. Let me see if I can find it. Um, I wish that was a thing, but it's not. There's so much things on Threads that I kind of need to not share, but also this is not the same thing. Where the fuck did I see that? Ah. Not there. It's fine. Not gonna find it. But yeah, apparently there is another thing which I think is called Bolt. I don't know. I forgot. It's been a while. It's been like 4 hours, I think. So, um, that is something that I've seen earlier. But that's not the thing that I wanted to do. You have access to this. This is visible for you. It's not safe for work, but it's just like my feed is muscle mummies. It is, and so it's it's just not gonna be entirely Twitch friendly. Like right now, I have a ton of design stuff because this is my kind of content on Threads. Obviously, but I do have some gym stuff, and the gym stuff is gym stuff of all kinds from any type of people, and I do like these things. So you know, it's kind of safe. It's kind of safe to an extent, but you know, you get some ass here and there, and you kind of don't want to share the ass much, you know. So, I mean, I can, but debatable. Anyways, so I guess overall, for me, from my point of view of a UI UX design, if you do the things that a UI UX designers would do through AI, which I think is what I'm trying to do with ChatGPT, for example, I'm using the voice model to chat with it, as the name implies, in voice modes, which is limited to like 10 messages, which is annoying when you're not paying for it. But you get access to like a good back and forth of you act as a project manager that knows everything about this product potential, and then I'm here and I'm pitching something, and you give me like a list of deliverable or a list of requirements for that tool, and then when I have this thing, I just compare that with my own findings, which has been really useful. Like for example, I did the whole thing in DeepSeek. I apparently need to tell them that I'm old now. God damn it. Uh, right. I did like a whole system for the travel guide app that I'm building. I did like a whole thinking model with DeepSeek to check if you were like a travel enthusiast and you were looking for guides app, what would you like to see in the like um in the in the detail page or in the app itself? Like what would be the outcome that makes more sense to you? So all of that, I kind of went through the
Lackham is
whole
now
thing.
following.
What do you mean? Um, and that, um, could help a dev that doesn't really understand how to design like a PRD, how to design the documentation, how to have the content of the documentation organized properly. That will help. So from a UI UX point of view, I do feel like it is beneficial. And then the other point of view that I have, which is a very personal point of view, from a dyslexic point of view, I cannot write for shit. And these tools are giving me the ability to write and explain my point in a way that is way more concise and true and understandable by another human than I would be able to in the same amount of time. So I like it makes sense for me to use like a voice-based model to chat with it, and then for it model to spit out something that I can then share with someone else and say, well, this is the requirement that we have. Um, and I can reread it, obviously, but the amount of time it takes to speak to the AI and write the product requirements, like that whole thing, it's probably like 15 to 20 minutes. I may take 15 to 20 minutes to write this unless I'm really deep in flow state and I know exactly what I need to do and no one is bothering me and I ate enough and I had whatever things that happened in the morning that was really good and I don't have a headache and everything aligned and I can focus and work. Maybe I can do that in 15 minutes, but also, I can also press a button and just speak. So, with that in mind, from a dyslexic point of view, it's amazing for me. Um, Again, I'm also like learning Japanese, building my app to learn Japanese. I'm going into Claude most of the time to help me understand some points. So I have like things that will give me
Mad
this
Chirpy is now
is
following.
Chirpy. Hi, welcome on in. Thanks a lot for the follow. Appreciate it. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? That's the usual thing. So if I have like a questions, very specific questions, uh, I just go there. And because my teacher is French, I mean, kinda, she's Japanese, but she's speaking French because I live in France. Uh, details. The understanding of the French is not necessarily what I have the best linked to learning languages. So I just plug the lesson in French, which is really simple. Like there is like one word of fucking French here. And then I just ask it, what is the what's what's the lesson? What is due? Um what how it should be used, whatever. And so that is way easier for me for understanding purposes. That's another thing. It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. We have a good chat. I love to chat. I mean, I'm a streamer, so I can't stop yapping. But you know, and the discussion that you had earlier on your side of the streaming seems pretty good. Um, so you know, like it's a pretty good thing overall. I think the negative part of AI right now is in the image generation, which I kind of hate. Um, I understand why it's bad. I understand why it's also potentially good. It's just, I don't think we are at the point where my best outcome or best AI tool for image generation exists. And that best model that I want to have is the best model for designers as well. I said that before. I'm repeating myself every time because it is a very important thing for me. But the AI tool that I want is an AI tool that is trained on the thing that I have done in the past. It's trained on all the data that I know, all the thing that I have created, all of my Figma files, all of the books that I've read, all of that, and then create things based on me. And based on me because I'm prompting it. Whereas, and I think for an artist, it should be the same. Like you have a thing that you have done, and you have a bit of a background of knowledge, and it makes sense. Um, and you train an AI on your stuff to help you do the thing that you don't like to do. So if you are someone that loves to do characters, but you hate doing backgrounds, you can train things for doing the backgrounds based on your styles, and then it just generate backgrounds for you. And then you can just touch them up because it's kind of fucked up in the beginning, but whatever. For you as a designer, you have the base, and it's like now I have a page, I can just tweak things here and there. Um, so yeah. Um, yeah, Chris, that's the point. That's also the reason why I do like that direction because it is um, limiting the amount of people that have access to these tools. The only people that would be benefiting for or from AI generation visuals is going to be the people that are um, like experienced enough. So I have 20 years of design experience. Therefore, the amount of data that I can train an AI on is big enough to give me results that are pretty good. Newer designers would need to work on thinking, reading, figuring out their styles, like picking things here and there, creating things on their own to figure out what they like and how they design, to then be able to train an AI to help them. But in the beginning, the AI should just like have the base patterns, as in I'm starting a new AI models that I'm going to train on myself. As a base, it's going to be trained on some of the documentation that I know, meaning Apple Human Interface Guidelines, Material Designs Guidelines, IBM Design Systems, most of the thing that I read and kind of like, as in books, like Atomic Design or other things for design-related content. And with that, I have a base. And it is just a matter of me having bad taste in the beginning, but the AI is going to generate working layouts that will be good for the content that I need. And then as a designer, we'll say, well, this is okay, and it's not. Still a beginner, but it's not. So I'm going to work on my own knowledge as a junior designer to just fetch things, get inspired, figure out what I like, and then put that in my AI generated content. So I do like that. And for devs, as Salma said, just SO, no SS. Sorry, just SS now. sad. Um, and for devs, I have a bit of a hard time because it is text based, and some of you are gonna cry, but like I don't think. I mean, it depends on the language, obviously. But as soon as you have the entire documentation of a language and you understand it, as in an AI model would understand that in a second or two, you are pretty good to do anything you want in that specific language. So if you train an AI on JavaScript, because that's easy, it's going to be able to do everything feasible in JavaScript. And then it's limited by your specific amount of problem solving, which is the human part of, well, we need to solve that problem specifically, and therefore we need to do this, this, and that. And we're using JavaScript to do that. So figure out which functions, which methods, which things would work best for that output. Then the AI can do that. But yes, also your design from 20 years ago looking pretty shitty. Yes, but what is important to see is the progress in between. Okay, so they started there and they considered this as shitty design. Therefore, I'm not, as an AI assistant generator of things, I'm not going to consider this as good. But I see the progress, so I can't go in something that is less good than this. Then you go to the next one. And you, as the user, is marking this 2016 design as pretty good, but not good enough. And then this 2018 design as good. And then this 2020 design as great. And so the AI model will say, well, everything behind that or before that is training for how you place things, but not for visual stuff. So it's just pattern thinking. And then after 2020 is visual thinking. You can have that. Don't worry, I can't read anyways. Um, I, I, the individualistic things for the AI enhancement for me is mostly tied to the creative work of specifically artists and painters and digital artists as well. You love to do backgrounds, but you hate to do poses. Get yourself like an AI that will give you like a pose, and then you can trace over, and then you're good. A lot of artists, when I'm saying that, are like, "Oh, no, that's not a good thing." I get it, specifically now. But if it was like trained on your stuff, you spend so much years on learning poses, you hate doing this still. So ease yourself into getting someone else doing the poses for you. You know that you want a poses like this. Figure it out, and then figures it out for you, and you add it to your composition with most of your things being like the background, the importance. But yeah, um, it's basically what I or how I think of it. So I hate doing marketing. If I find an AI that is doing the marketing better than a human, I would go for an AI most of the time because it's gonna be more efficient in some ways, but also I need a salesperson to sell my own services, and that's not going to be an AI. Like, I know from experience that I need like a, thank you, I need a human to human interaction in order for a design deal to be closed. So I can have an AI assistant that take care of setting up the meetings, but then as soon as there is like a call, it needs to be me, or it needs to be my sales assistant. And then for the greater goods, as in um like general population thing, it's currently not going in the right direction, and I don't see any um I don't see any progress in the communist way or socialist way of AI using. I only see AI progress in a capitalistic way, which is not going to be good for the greater goods of humanity. So, for now, until we reach that thing, um, you know, it's yeah, I don't think the greater population is going to receive a good way or a good use of AI soon enough. Um, but yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing. I get that. Also, still something really important, at least on from my point of view, there is something that we haven't figured out as humans. We kind of have, we also haven't, um, which is something that I call the system knows. Everything is known by the system on any platform or both platform. Like there is not a single platform that doesn't know what's happening on the platform for a singular user. And even if it's like anonymized and something, you still have to tie a device to like a flow of actions to trigger some things. And therefore, the system should know what should happen as well. There is something that is like an expectation on my side of things to like I this is the example that I have most of the time. I have these. If you are like in Europe or in wherever you have like pass for your buildings, I have these. That thing should know that this is tied to in my building unit specific on specific floor, right? The elevator in my building is starting only from the uh, third floor, right? So it should have the ability to tie the badge number with the human that is linked to it, or at least one of them. And then, specifically with that company, um, and then, yeah, but that number key could be linked to a user, which is usually the case because it was linked to a key. Anyways, as soon as I badge in, if the elevator isn't at the first floor, it should just call the elevator, right? That makes a lot of sense. And so today, specifically today, I was on Xiangshu again, still all the time. That's all I do. And let me see if I can find it quickly. Um, there is one person that did exactly that. That person did exactly what I have in mind, which is they open up the elevator thing and they added an automation button. Um, and basically, as soon as they open their own door, the elevator is called to their floor as a default. Like they don't have to touch the button. It's just automatically triggered because they have added this thing, which I can't really see or show or whatever, which works 100% of the time. It's just inside of the button thing. And when the door is open, there is an automation running that call for the elevator on the 6th floor. That should be an automation that the system can know. And this is an example on real life point of view, which, you know, I'm not saying I can't show you because I can't see the play icon. It's just like we can't really see what it is in there. Like it's not a thing. So, you know, but that is a system knows. I open my door, my elevator is called because I'm on the 6th floor for this one, and therefore I need the elevator, and it's not on my floor right now. So that makes more sense to just call it now. And then in any other tools, in any other platforms, like there are things in the system that I should do, that the system knows that I should do, that the system doesn't requires me to do and can do itself, but today still needs me to go into something and type on a button to say that I've done something. So, you know, yeah, it should just be a native thing. So it's the same thing as like self-driving cars, again, in China, much better than anywhere else. Having the ability to say, oh, I'm low on battery, let me self-drive myself to a fucking charging spot on my own as a car. So, you know, that makes a lot of sense to me. Like, I know I've been like low on battery. Let me just go charge because I can. That makes sense, you know, at least for me. Chris, if that was the thing that you were working on for the past 3 weeks, it's kind of sad. Andrew, hi, welcome in. How are you? How have you been? Welcome back. So yeah, that's the thing. So for the um for the whole thing, for the humanity things for AI, I do feel like there is a level of system understanding that should like work by default, but also we are not going in that direction for now. So yeah, it's kind of sad. I'm pretty good. I'm a bit tired now because it's 8:30 and I'm an old man. And I have class tomorrow and gym and all that. But I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I'm working on a secondary app right now, which is weird and half working, but it's working. Bitch. Not that. I mean, it's good that you can't see the passcode, though. That's gotta be. No, vibe coding is good. I like it. But yeah, I've built this, and specifically, I built the navigation at the bottom, which is like a circular circle picker, circle tab that you can tap to navigate or rotate and select to navigate, which is interesting. I like the concept. I like the concept. It's fun. It's fun. But yeah, vibe coding has been kind of going everywhere. I know that. I know that. Which I took it differently in the beginning. Like it's I thought it was just you all coding and you're vibing with the music in the background and be good with it. But now I understand, or like basically last week I understood that it was not that. It was just like AI coding and you're just vibing, waiting, which is what I'm doing, but you know. Kuro, hi, we're calling. So yeah. I mean, it's just it is it's just letting the AI do the code while you are vibing, waiting. That's about it, which is kind of sad, but it's basically what I'm doing for this, which works. I'm really happy with the output though. It's kind of neat. Again, based on what I said last time, you know, hidden gems and stuff for this app specifically. If I'm here, and you not here. If I'm, god damn it, if I'm here, which is my initial spots of Japan, you can see that my second point right here is grayed out because it's not there, right? Hidden gems from further out in the country. There is things like this, and there will be things in Italy. There will be things in Germany. I think I will have the one that I have for Sweden as well, because they are neat. But yeah, that's gonna be kind of nice to have. Yeah. Anyways, so I've been building that, and I spent 2 days on the fucking navigation at the bottom, but now it works, so I'm happy with it. Very happy with it. This is way better from my point of view. Much better. But yeah, it is. I mean, it's a thing. Jahir, hi, welcome back. I think I've done the turn on the AI stuff. That was vibe coded. God damn, that was glitchy. That's crazy. So, login. What's this? No, I'm on it already. I mean, I'm on the link that you sent. Also, that is not an option. You can't really share that link this way. I don't think that's a viable way. Yeah. You see, that's not a viable way of doing it either. So, technically, here, right there, details, and content and sadness from my point of view right there. I'm so far away. I only know I hate it, which is good. I don't know why that's black. I guess it's other options. I just saw that it didn't seems like you are changing. You have changed the names on that. So if you want to change the name above, do that for privacy purposes. Good.
Murmur 3301 is now following.
Mama, hi, welcome on in. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Thanks a lot for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, I know you haven't changed that. That's why I'm saying that. So one of these two will be the basis for the back.
Yahergosu just subscribed.
Why? I appreciate it, though. Jackie, thanks a lot for the sub. Welcome on in. Enjoy the emotes. Enjoy the no ads, which I have a lot of ads. I know. I'm sorry. Cat, did you full nap or did you just half nap on the keyboard? One of these two will be the basis for the bag. I I I know what it's for. So this is better because it's more subtle and it might be a tad more well, subtle, which is really good. And and then this one is better because it's brighter. So I like this one better, personally speaking, just because it's more saturated and it's just brighten up my day. Whereas this is not necessarily best, but yeah. Then you have different values, which I'm guessing it's the things. You still haven't changed the fucking names. God damn. Why is taking so long? Like the address, the names. I don't want to, you know, because I don't have the edit access on this. I can't. Also, it's fucking images, so I can't. I can't edit anything. Ah, god damn it. I see. Well, you're getting that treatment. It's gonna be fine. Uh, it's sad because now you kind of lost the fucking um, visuals as well. First time on your stream, your vibes from the movie The Gentleman. Interesting. I mean, I appreciate it. Fuck on it. Um, do I have another place where we have like another location? I guess at the bottom you have like other locations and names. So I'm gonna mask off. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. That was the wrong thing. Can I do that? I guess I can do that. Guess I can do that. Um, that and that. Is that blurred? Yeah, cool. Um, yeah, that. God damn it. Hmm. So, yeah. That's too small to be visible. I think. Good. Good. Almost there. Almost there. I'm so close. Ah. Sorry, that sounds appropriate for the stream. Yes, 100%. 100%. Cool. I think we're good. Just making sure. I think we're kind of good. Gonna take that as well. I mean, you kind of. I agree with myself. not necessary, but you know. Good, cool. Shit, that's the wrong button. I almost ended stream. Uh, you shaved a bit too much of your eyebrows. That sounds like me. Okay, so this is where you are right now. This is the whole thing.
Bonishva is now following.
Oh, and 6 for the follow. What, were you not following earlier? That sounds weird. Maybe you unfollowed, refollowed. I don't know. I hate this with everything in my body. And I kind of like this. Design-wise is really good. I like the arch. I like the frieze. I kind of like this corner better than this corner, just because it doesn't match. Like that alignment on the other side did match, and it was kind of better. So it's not perfect, obviously, but it kind of matched better, and you have like a bit of a better corner in here. So I like that. But that whole system, that whole layout with name and name, place, date, that's good. Because this is probably going to be the back, right? That's what you're saying. If it's something that people will keep, I wouldn't have that much thing. So if it's 2 different cards and it's not like back and forth, I'm okay with having like the illustration 4 on the other side, but you know, that's the thing. And then here on these ones, these are interesting. They kind of work. I like this one for the top, but I also don't like the fact that this is an angle. We talked about that last time. I like this one because it has this angle. And then the font here has a bit of an orphan-ish. Here we have like 2 words. So that's kind of complicated, but I do like that composition a bit more for some reason. There's something as well with the positioning of hands when you are taking on a piece of paper. So this would be fine. This would potentially be wrong, but that's debatable. I'm going to go over why I hate this for a second, or in a second, but yeah. So this is pretty cool. I like it. I don't really have any preferences other than this one looks a bit tighter and a bit easier to encompass. Like you kind of see that's the block of text that you need to read. So I like that. This is kind of debatable. Yeah. Debatable. You know, that. So you could print this, yes, but yeah. I mean, if the front is portrait, the back should be portrait as well. It's kind of weird. Like it's rare to take a piece of a card that you receive and do that. Like, I mean, you will probably just flip it. Like you expect this. You don't expect this and then this. Usually. So most people aren't gonna do that, which is an interesting process. But I could even do that as a system. But you know, basics. Why the fuck do I hate this? Let me tell you. I hate that. Okay. there is so much going on. This is specifically with that ampersand thingy fonts that you chose here, and all that. This is the wedding in Morocco, and you went with the most cliche thing possible, which is, oh yeah, it's Morocco. There is sand and dunes. I get it. I get it. It's the easiest thing to do. But it's like me going on Pinterest and saying, um, Arabic vibes. What the fuck do I get? Some calligraphy, some sand dunes, some patterns thingy, and you basically did the whole thing. You got the calligraphy type font with the sand and dunes, and it's just it's such a cliche that this would have been much better to get. Like, it's a different arch, but this is a Moroccan type arch or Arabic type arch, and so you have the arch and the vitrail. I don't know how to say that in English. Uh, the glasswork of France, and then you have the same thing for Morocco or for like Arabic. Yeah, I know. The radial symmetry things is the cliche, but it's just, even if, like, I don't know, it's just like, it feels like this, and it's like, that's basically how I see it. It's how much Arabic things can I put in? We have sans, cool. We have sans. We need some calligraphic font. We have some calligraphic font. Cool, 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 cool. We need the vibes of the colors, which is going to be orange E because it's, you know, it's sand, and it's just, God damn it, it's a lot of cliche. So with all that, I get it. I get it, but I feel like if it is front and back, as in these two are on the same thing, I don't think you answer that. But yeah, not on the same. I mean, even if it wasn't on the same, I would have the same vibe, anyways. Like, if it's the, yeah, I mean, if it's email separately, that's fine. It's gonna be okay. But goddamn, um, I would match the color scheme. I would have that yellow orangey here if you wanted to keep the fucking dunes, just to have the same vibes. And I mean, we've seen that on Wednesday. I would go, personally speaking, if I get married someday, I doubt it, for some shit like this. Not some shit from Timu, but like some shit like this. I would go for as minimalistic as I can be because I'm a fucking designer. And if I have something related to an arch or something, I would go for some shit like this with as minimal as I can. And like having the content being important and not the illustration. Like, I get it. Again, I get it. but I would have the illustration on one side and then the content on the other side. Like if it's on the other side, just pure paper, just text, nothing else. That way, going back to what you said in the beginning of our discussion about this 3 months ago, nothing. I would have this in a way that is illustrative, that I can have and hold on my fridge in my home as an illustrative type things that I can pin on the wall. And then every time I pass it, I remember, oh yeah, that's the wedding of friends. I remember the time that I had there, it was fun and whatever. But, you know, dang, not gonna do anything. Yeah. I don't think that could work, Dapshi. I feel like this is currently associated with specific things, used to be associated with specific things, specifically in France, that is different than the association that you have where you are. So I wouldn't, personally speaking, based on the fact that one of the person is from Arabic descent, it might have meanings that are uh, different specifically for them. And I'm sad about it because I used to have plenty of these in different colors. It was really cool, really nice. I liked it. The one that I had couldn't be associated because they were like bright green, bright red. I mean, the bright red kind of, but you know, not the best. Nonetheless, um, yeah, you said that already. Um, of course, it was green. It was like the I don't have anything green, but it's like um, you could use the patterns, but yeah, I didn't say you need to put it on the fridge, but it's like it could be useful. And I'm basically saying that the more minimalistic it could be, the better you could have something. So if you went for something like um, this instead, right? That might not be good enough because, you know, it's a bit empty. It is. But you could have something around here that gives the viewer something else. Um, the landscape version is debatable. Like, you know, if you have just that, you can have just the vertical, which I think would be better. Um, I don't know if a subtler background would work. Um, I think less text would be good. Like going back to here, I feel like you could have name and name at the top, right here, kept in the thing, and maybe just the date on one side. But also, I mean, I would probably do the opposite. Like um, I would do that personally speaking. I'm reading. Go ahead. Just you say I was thinking, but you're not saying anything. Yeah, I could see that with this in the center and potentially a bit bigger um, overall. Also, you should type in chat. That would be easier. That no, Dapsy, no. The shape maybe for the for the Moroccan uh, for the Moroccan one. I could see a rounded one just to have like a reference off, like that. The reason why I'm saying you should type in chat is because right now I'm not on the file. So if you're typing and saying anything, I can't see. Um, I can't see anything. I don't know what you're saying. So yeah, I think the shape could be interesting to have as a border or something inside of the card itself. I feel like that's an interesting way to have some content and some like different vibes. Not cut out because you can't have that, but you know, just having the illustration in that frame, like some shit like this could work, right? Simple, easy. Um, yeah, the thing is, you have a delay, so you know, X, hi, walk on it. How are you? How have you been? I'm good. I'm trying to help Markham right there. Yeah, some shit like this actually could work for me, at least in my head, with the shape on the side that would like kind of match specifically on this one instead of having like a very straight one, having a bit of a curve to match, or maybe having like an S. You know, I know, like I said, don't look at that, but you know, like some shit like this. Bitch, not that. Like you know, with some text or something. It's cliche as fuck, but eh, eh. um, that's not what I wanted to do. So I ready to get back to work. That is kind of sad. I get it. I get it. I get it. Oh, fuck me. I'm gonna open that in Figma directly. This is pissing me off. Come on, go on. Give me access to the thing that I need to access, and then we'll see what we can do. What I'm gonna say is if you don't print one side, it's gonna look kind of weird. And I don't think it's a good idea. I'm also 100% seeing that right there. But yeah, I don't know. See, I mean, this is cliche as fuck, you know? But, eh, I recognize that this is fully biased to the the fullest of the ability of my Pinterest to be extremely biased. Um, but it is extremely minimalistic. Most of it, the materialistic things or content is going to be on the card itself. You don't have the time nor the funds to afford this right now. So I would highly recommend something that is closer to these rather than anything else to help with the layout, the content, the things, all that. And that makes sense to me, obviously. And the emboss is not a bad idea. It's just going to take more time. Again, getting an embossed implies a lot of things, which you might not know about. Probably don't. But see, like something like this could work with the back, or I would say this is the front and this is the back, but the front with the whole illustration with all the things, but no text, so that you can keep that, put it on your fridge, have it on the display, because it's a nice piece of work. And then on the back, you still have a bit of the illustration. And then that is the text. So that could make more sense. Yeah, it is a printer handling it. The thing is, if you want to emboss something, you need to create a stamp. In order to create a stamp, you need to create a piece of metal that is going to emboss the text. So you are kind of limited by the font that the printer already has as metal stamps to put together to create your embossing option, or they need to build a new one specifically for you. This is usually a milling operation. It's going to take about 5 to 6 days to mill to make sure that it doesn't have any issues. It's going to cost you a ton of money because this is a solid piece of metal to do the stamping, and then, and only then, would you be able to have your embossing thing. Though, if you just do some gloss, yeah, that's what I'm calling CNC, like milling CNC is kind of the same thing for me on my side of things. But yeah, it's going to take more time. That's all I'm saying. It's also going to be more costly. So with that in mind, there. I realized we didn't have the blur. But I feel like a mix of that, like as a concept, is pretty cool. With full illustration, half illustration, which would mean if you wanted to keep what you already have here, just have the back with the same illustration but more completed, like something else around here. If there is something that you can have, if you have the time to do that, that could be highly beneficial to get around here. To have some content here and then keep the same thing. Just that. I don't know. No, you can't really CNC onto the paper. I understand why you would think that. Yes, it makes sense. I know. Not when you have to do 50. If you have to do 3, yeah, maybe. Why not? But yeah. That's what Stoney was saying, but no. because it's just more complex. Like basically, in order to get the embossing press based on the type that you have, or when I was in school and I was working on these, we had these types of things where we needed to create the plates that would go on the embossing system, and so that was costing a lot to create the whole thing, to then get embossing on all of our printed things. But you basically need to do a cylinder, and specifically a cylinder, and specifically because it needs to be like 1,000 piece minimum to get that done. You end up not having really the option to do the embossing. So I get it. You can do some lacquer or some varnish, which would give you like some sort of better, cheaper things. Again, small quantities would give you something like basically the outputs, like you would see here. It has embossing in them because they have the ability to do one and create plenty with that embossing thing. But most of the time, what we have is this gold foil or holographic foils. But they have one here, like some of these. They are not necessarily embossed, but the printing part of it makes it look like it is deeper in the paper, just a smidge, than the embossing system. So that's the thing. That's the thing. But yeah, shit like this, you know, simple, done, good. They have the cuts. But yeah, that's gonna cost like a bit more to get that embossing done specifically properly. But you, I mean, why not? Why not? There is plenty of options on Etsy, AliExpress, other platforms to give you like the pucks that go on the embossing press that you can have at your home. And I would highly recommend you to do that. Yes, to like add to your business cards, add to your resume. It just adds so much without really costing that much when it's an individual cost. So you can just have like look at it. This, if this was foil, gold, embossed, it would be so much better, visually speaking, than what we have here. Like it's still pretty cool, right? No less. It's neat. But if it was gold or some of the things that I do love to have, which are like these holographic print for a design studio, that just makes sense. So you know, we love these. But yeah, nonetheless, you can. Yes, it's not an issue. You can do that. You can have like an embossing system if you wanted to, but it's just gonna cost you more. And I think there is like some sort of a threshold. It depends on the printer, as always. But like, if it's something like this, they seems to have, I don't know if that's a business card or It is a business card. Um, this is probably in the hundreds or thousands of items at once. So, you know, why not just put that again on the other side? Like you Venn diagram this. I don't know. Just pattern, done. If I'm doing this and I'm taking, god damn it, you and your fucking shadows. So if I'm taking this and then I do um, that, you know, it's not amazing, but it's what you can. Also, what the fuck is that? Why are they not in the same space? What? I mean, again, check with the press. If they tell you it's gonna cost X amount and you're okay with that, do that. It's gonna be better at the end. Um, you should. I think you could have that, and you could have even if you wanted to. Right now, I don't think it's a good idea, but you know, maybe. Um, you could have like name, name, you know, in the center with your fucking investment in the center, right there. Potentially not a good idea, but you know, it could work. You could also have um, a reverse of this if you wanted to. Like instead of doing this, you could have something like this. And maybe that's an option. I don't know. Just potentials. What do you mean shift V? Shift V is just vertical. If you, it's a flip, just 180 degrees, which is not exactly the same thing. But yeah, so you could do that. Again, you can do a ton of things. You could do that as well. Yes. That's an option as well, which I hate, but it would potentially work. That's going to be kind of more complex for me to do, but um, could play with that in terms of potential placements, maybe by placing them like underneath, right? That could potentially work if you really want to do that. It might be extremely busy. Like, I'm not saying do that absolutely, but it's just, it could work. You could bring it up. It is way too much. Like, these two are way too much. I feel like this is fine. Shit, I should have kept that. That's fine. Uh, oh, that's wine. My bad. You know, like it. You have the illustration already. You could have like just an extension. That's an option. You could really make it like more like that, which is subtle. Depends. So that you have like one side that is like a bit more busy, the other side that is just with the text and the content. I'd say if you don't take the same pattern, as in ensure that you don't have the exact same level of orange right where it's where it is. But eh. I see. Oh. Oh, interesting. Um, that's an option. It works. Again, going back to my initial thing, as in around here, the more minimalistic it is, the better it is, at least. For me, I think. Like, why do we have butt plugs and other sex toys as ads? You know what? Um, but yeah, I mean, it. This one or this one? Four blue corners as overlays. We didn't click on it, right? Yeah. I like this. Um, didn't get that far. Anyways, the thing that I was about to say, and then I got distracted by myself. Um, we don't keep wedding invitations. I have never kept a wedding invitation that I received, and it I don't care about the paper. I won't care about the paper. I I I I care about the event. Technically, I don't care, but yeah, the only one that will keep them are the people that get married. But also, Morton, hi, welcome on in, welcome back. Also, um, that is heavy. That's heavy. Heavy. Which means, in order to make that work, you kind of need this to ensure that it's gonna kind of work, right? But even then, that's wrong. That wrong. Much better. But yeah. Maybe. So nonetheless, I don't think the people that are getting married will keep the fucking thing even. I think after the first 3 years, maybe not. But you know, debatable. Um, Other than that, also Morton, again, thanks a lot for the giant fire emote. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I think I get it. We want to make it like kind of appreciated by the people that will be there, the people that are getting married. Maybe the family is gonna keep that. Maybe the parents are gonna keep that. I get it, but I I don't think it should be that complex, and I don't think you should spend that much time into defining the illustration, the content, the layout, the things. I think it would be way faster for you to just say, this works, and this is going to be the front or the back, and then my illustration works as well, and it's good. And again, like Swiss design vibes in my head, white space is king. So like you see the amount of white space we have around here and how delicate and luxuriously pleasing, aesthetically pleasing it is. Like it's really simple. It doesn't have a lot of fioritures or things. Like same here, you have your illustration, which, right, it's kind of the same vibe. You have a lot of sun rays with the illustration you currently have. And then on the other side, you just have that. Like this would work as an illustration that you can keep. And the other side, you don't really care, but you will remember. And it's minimalistic and it works. And that system would fully work if you just extend the rays further out, kind of like this. No, I said this one is just the most cliche thing ever. But like this is, to me, good, specifically because of that. Like it's the mix of this and that. There. Why is this not working? God damn it. And yes, this illustration is pretty good as well. Might be a bit strong, but yeah, it's pretty good. So I would go for something like this in terms of layout. For the card. And then when we go back to all of the other ones that we have seen, most of them, if not all of them, that are the current vibe are these. They are stacks of content. So yeah. Also bones, no. So you have the cards that the people will keep, and then you have the program or the invitation of the things, the RSVP, you know, like printed in different types of papers. That kind of works. You know. Specifically the one that are easy, like this. It just works. Just works. It's not complicated. It's just you receive the thing that you need to send back. You know, like you received it, which means you are invited. There's the name, handwritten, if that's an option. If that's not an option, whatever. Like the person is going to write back that, and then selection of the meal, if that's a thing, if they have a +1, if that's a thing, and they can send that back. And paying for an envelope isn't that expensive, so the guest could. And then there is the details, and then there is the card. It's just like 3 things that make sense. And if you want to keep, like, not doing that, you can have the cards and the details on the same thing, but the RSVP is supposed to be there as well. So, you know, they. But yeah, this is really good though. I like that a lot. I like this one a lot. It's a lot of different fonts though. That's the thing that I'm seeing. Like it's the same font 3 times, but also that in the middle. Debatable. Debatable. But it is the trend for weddings. So, you know. No, this one is really good as well. If you are like interested in this one, take a look at it. Not that it matters, but you know. I feel like this works. That's cute. Damn. That's a nice print. That is a nice print. Bye. Doesn't happen often to have like a nice gradient in the print specifically, and now it's in the print and in the embossed version or embossed part of the print. That's impressive. There's a good press that they have to be able to do that precisely. So I used to have long hair and then short, and now they are long. I mean, and then long again, and then short again, and now long again. So yeah, that happens. Like if you go back on some of the VODs, I guess. No, not that. Um, so if you go back far enough, like far enough, you have short hair me right about here. And then that was 2021. So the more time passed up until 2022 and a half, 2023 maybe, just grows until like kind of longer, nice length thingy around here. But after then short again, and then I went back to Japan, somewhere around here. So short again, ish, kind of. I grew up, and then something happened. And then I went back to Japan, and something happened with the hairdresser, and I lost everything once. And then I went back, and I lost everything twice. Really sad. And now I'm just growing the thing. Anyways, details, stuff. Yeah, I do like this. I mean, I would, personally speaking. Just because it doesn't make any sense. But at the end of the day, you choose what you want to do. Like, my recommendations are not final and you need to absolutely follow what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, to me, a mix of this for the front and this for the back makes way more sense than anything else. Just because of the simplicity. And if you have the ability to get some recycled paper, like if you go with something that is a bit more off-white, like something like this seems more adapted to me than pure white things. Right now, it's kind of pure white. But a sand, I just realized that this is kind of off-white, but not necessarily. Yeah, you can have.
Dang Luck is now following.
Dang Luck, hi. Welcome on in. Thanks a lot for the follow. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Welcome on in. It is. I agree. I agree. Like you can have something like this, like a high quality, heavy, textured paper, like shit like this as well. These are fun. For the texture, that's all I'm saying. For the colors, maybe not. For the meaning, maybe not. Still, I like it. You know, different stuff, fun stuff. Could be really nice to have. Like I mean, again, interesting. Well, I'm not a dev. I don't know what I'm doing on SwiftUI. I just been following this guy's bootcamp. And if you're just starting, I would highly recommend you to just go through that. It's pretty good. Like it's a very much beginner friendly bootcamp. So if you're just trying, just testing out, that is pretty good. I lived in Japan, yes. Right now I'm on video 23 out of 77. And most of it is pretty simple, and it's because I don't know what I'm doing that I'm following the bootcamp right now. And I still did a lot of things already, like that work in SwiftUI, and that are like functional and usable, but for the sake of me, I can't really teach, nor can I explain what I did and how and why it works. So, yeah. But it's there. And I did that. But yeah, like the other thing that I'm thinking right now is the fact that the recycled paper or textured paper could already kind of fill that blank space if you wanted to do so. But if you go with that, which I would personally recommend doing that, you don't really need like a different paper. That's the first thing. And the other thing that I wanted to kind of say, showcase, whatever, is this. If you go on here, the background itself, and you know me right now, has a noise texture. Like there is a noise in my app. It's not like pure black from dark blue to pure black. No, there is noise. There is a texture. There's something that makes it more interesting for the user to just look at and play with. So if you have that with the textured paper, that could be interesting. But yeah, this could work as well. It might be a tad too strong, but if these are their colors, yeah, you have acquired this achievement tomorrow. Good job. Congrats. Congrats. Ah. Also dying. Dying. Dang? I for some reason I read that Korean way for some reason. I don't know how to pronounce your name properly. I'm sorry about that. Um, do you have code experience? Like, do you have other languages that you know? Because that could really help. Like, if you know JavaScript, I said that many times. Most devs disagree. But if you know JavaScript, Swift UI is really similar. The syntax is similar. It has some sort of a better declarative system for me. So I have a hard time with JavaScript, but I do like Swift UI for its declarative way of thinking and presenting. And it is very, very simple. I mean, very, very simple. It is very, very simple to me. Denny, hi. Welcome on in. How are you? How's the day going? And now we have some ads at the bottom of the screen. That is fucking amazing. Good job. Good job on the ads. That's a great crazy timing. Um, so yeah, like a dead stain. The illustration, you decide what you want to take. I feel like a more saturated one could work. Um, I, I, I think a textured version of the paper would be good, and potentially having some different paper types could bring out something. Why, at the end of the day, it's not necessary, usual. Um, and then from what I learned today, it's pretty impressive though. Um, yep, exactly. It's like it went from 20 degrees last weekend to 2 degrees today. So yes, 100%. We didn't have an earthquake though. That is not something we had. But, you know, like if I'm here and I have to define something, I'm gonna need to import SwiftUI on this. Because I need that. And then I have a struct, which is gonna be my test with a fucking which is gonna be I think like the basic view is gonna work. And you know, um, I get that. So what I kind of want to have here is going to be a stack. God damn it. God damn it. Force of habit here. With my text. My text is going to take not white. Title. And I should have something here, which is not. Dang. And so the declarative way of writing it is just this. Foreground color, well, technically now it's supposed to be tint instead. It's pretty simple. And then that whole thing is going to have some padding. And that whole thing is going to have a background color. And maybe I need some radius on these. And then I'm kind of good. And so my V stack, for example, is going to have like a frame. It's going to have a max width of E. Top and bottom, usual. Then that thing is going to take like a background with a gray. That's a very, very simple way of building your UI. And as soon as you understand how to build your content, god damn it. Like you can really quickly have content. And that's basically from what I learned today. Not really, but kind of. But yeah. It's Swift. It is Swift, which is much better. Bryson, hi, welcome back. How are you? How have you been? When you have very different products, what's the quickest way and how do you determine if it's a good idea or not from the market fit passion perspective? Well, first of all, I don't have product IDs. I need something. I make sure it exists. If it doesn't, I might try to make it. That's basically how it goes. Have a good rest of your day. You go. Take care of yourself. God damn. Killing me before going. I see. So yeah, Denny, that's basically it. Like, Yeah, yeah, that's basically it. So, uh, almost to an extent. I do not need this. This can be achieved by sharing a private map on Google Map. But right now, I'm more interested into trying to see if I can build stuff than if the stuff that I build is necessary, right? So there's that. So for this one, this is mostly like a. It looked interesting. I had an idea, and I just want to build that eventually. And an app seemed okay. Like the initial thing, the initial concept of this product was a PDF. I wanted to have a PDF of travel guide to Tokyo and Japan in general, um, and potentially Paris as well, and give locations and restaurants and bars that are like kind of more quiet for the people that knows about the city, whatever. And then when I built the first app, I was like, you know what, an app could be pretty cool. So I'm gonna build an app instead so that I can have some interactive stuff, and that might be better. So I did that. For this, however, currently, as far as I know, there's not really another app that gives you the ability to go through your personal interest and say, I'm really interested in nightlife in Japan and I want to learn the words related to nightlife. So the only thing that you can do is create a dictionary yourself and then use Enki to do the same thing. Like you will have flashcards like this and say, I know that, I don't know that. You tap on it, you have what it is, Setsune, which means explanation, and that's it. And if you want like something that is more specific of your interest, you need to go through the creation of a deck through here, or you need to find a deck that is available on Anki from the forums that contains nightlife, business stuff, whatever you're interested in. So this is more work on your side. So right now with this one, I'm giving you a dictionary of the first 100 words that, you know, kind of works. So that is pretty nice. But yeah, log sec, I don't know that. That, I guess, based on the fact you said no, then it's notes. Um, why? Again, the PC is just hating on me. That's crazy. Anyways, um, I don't know about the flashcards that they have, so that's interesting. I might have a look at how they look specifically. Is it free? I mean, I guess. Yeah. I mean, if it works for you, that's pretty good. I need to check it out though, so I'm gonna keep that here. Um, I see. So it's free until CloudSync becomes out of beta. So you can have CloudSync for now, I'm guessing. Probably. But yeah, Denny, that's basically it. I find something that I think is interesting, and then I say, I need to do this. As in, I don't know, I want an electric skateboard. And I'm like, does it exist? Yes. Can I get one? Yes. Therefore, I don't need to create one. I want to build a guide that is based on my own experience. Does it exist? No. So I need to do that. Which is a travel guide that I'm building. I need a Japanese learning app where I can learn the thing that I'm interested in. And that came out. So, yeah. Um, but you just use QuickBooks instead. Like if you really do. If you go on any like business related / accounting related YouTube channels, you might find discount codes for QuickBooks because there is plenty, and it's pretty good. You also have, I think it's Bamboo HR that can give you that. I think. No. No. There is another one that I kind of know that I forgot the name, obviously, because I'm looking for it. What? Brain. Shit, that's not it. Yeah, I can't. That might be it. I'm not sure now. I'm unsure. It could. I think Prospero is the one that I have in mind, mainly because it is. I'm not sure. I think it has been built by Ran, which is the creator of Flux Academy. So these are an option, and I think they do have like a very cheap pricing overall if you have enough, you know. I haven't used QuickBooks in a while, so I don't know. don't know. But you might need to create the invoice once. And then be good. Like, do you have a list of all the things that you can have? Because, again, going back to the AI chat from earlier in the stream, you go here and you say, I need a website to generate my design freelance proposal and invoices, pitch, can't type. It needs to have entries with type and hours spent. And let me add custom types for specific clients, potentially specific clients. User list as base for all the regular design services, you know. A freelance designer would have for this artifact. Press enter, and then you just wait. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. But I needed that. It's going to use Tailwind. And I don't know how it's going to extract it. I don't know if it can extract something as a PDF or something as, I don't know, something. But it's not. You're probably not on the right one. Oh, this seems like a complex one. Interesting. And done. And now I have my artifact, which means that this is going to be a proposal. No, this is going to be an invoice. That's the invoice number. And then I have my dates, I have my values, and then I have my details, which I could pre-fill inside of the code to not have to do that every time. These are the client data details. That's something that you need to have. Then you have service. So I did like a brand identity things, and I didn't really do custom services, but I could have more custom services. So have that. That was 65 per hours. Maybe I had something else, and that's about it. Like you do that, and then you define how many hours you spent on this. Callie, hi, welcome on in, welcome back. How are you? So, like, that's the thing. What you're trying to do is timely right now. That's the thing. Timely is great. Timely is an amazing thing that will track your activities exactly with a 5-minute delay. And then at the end, you have the ability to output a timesheet to get paid. You know. And if you think that Timely is looking like shit, which I would disagree, but you can use Toggle instead. Like they run in the background on your computer. There is nothing happening other than their Timely AI, specifically for Timely, and for Toggle, I don't know. I just know that Toggle doesn't really have like a, well, didn't really have a good free tier when I tried it for the first time. And, you know, can do that. Toggle is really good as well. Oh no. Timely doesn't need your calendar. Timely knows. Like, Timely knows you've been on a Zoom because you were on a Zoom page on Arc or Chrome or whatever for 15 minutes. And then you open your calendar to do something. Then you did some emails. Like, they know. It runs in the background of your computer all the time. And it knows that today you listened to some music. You were on Figma for 1 hour and 10 minutes. You were on Slack with other people. Like, that is automated with Timely, which is really good. And at the end, you have a bit of a recap. And because you can define your billing hours in here, you can say, well, if I'm currently on that tool, I'm billed X. If I'm doing that work, which is bound to this client, I'm billed X. I have a budget for that specific client that is 2K, let's say. And right now we are currently at 1.6, meaning that we will be over budget soon. So we need to make a decision. Timely is amazing. However, Timely is not free.
Mom?
Timely isn't free, but it's great. Toggle has a free version. It does kind of the same thing, but yeah. I don't think it has the GPS thing. But I think you could. I think you could. I know that there is a new platform that does that with GPS tracking to know, but it's mostly for like contractors or building carpenters, trades people that needs to go on site. And so when they are on site on a geolocalization radius of a certain amount, then they basically check in or punch in and then check out of the day. So yeah, but I don't think Timely does that. Timely has the ability to run on your phone and on your computer at the same time, so it knows if you are taking a phone call, if you are moving around, probably as well. But yeah, Timely's great. Same thing, Toggle's great. They have their invoicing things because it seems you don't want to do your invoicing things. the overall invoice that they are creating is pretty good. It works. It's based on what you have done during the session. So that's the thing. But I would recommend you to go with Toggle first to check if these types of tools works for you, because this one is free. And it has like a lot of unlimited things that you can have, which is better than Timely, which is not free. But you know, dang. I don't remember the exact name, which is kind of sad, of what it is. I think, as you can see, I was learning Swift today. Was it? Might have been this one. Yep, it is. These is connecting, which is a bit different, also mostly for the trades. But you basically have the GPS tracking to check if the employee in question is like on site. And yeah, it's an interesting thing, interesting product overall. But I don't think it has a free version, same, because it is for like enterprise. So, yeah. But it is contractor and builders. Well, if you just read the website, Denny, it will answer most of your questions. Because right now, all of the thing that you are saying is a thing that are disclosed and explained on the landing page. So it runs by checking which processes are currently running on your machines, and it stays on your machine. The data doesn't leave your machine, so there is nothing. Yeah. Yeah, that is basically what Timely is, and the reason why it exists, and the reason why it's named Timely. Because you install it, you press start, and then you forget about it, and at the end of the month or the end of the project, you have all your hours defined on which files in Figma did you use for X amount of time, which website did you stay on for 16 hours this month. Like, you just have all of this automatically set, fast, and just easy to set in, to put in place. You just have to install the app, and then you're done. You know, easy. And also, yes, if you're that rushed, just either do what I did right here by building one of these in 3 seconds. Like, right, I have that. I can have multiple standard services. Right? Like now I have this, and so I can say, well, I did the logo, I did the website, I did the thing, and then that adds at the bottom. I did some social media, and maybe I did some motion graphics. That just adds them, and then I worked on that for 21 hours. I did the website for like 16. Social media and graphics took me 4 hours. The motion graphics took me 12 because it was a bit more complicated. And that's it. I have everything. Like, it's 15 seconds. This thing, I use Cloud. Like, I don't. Like, it's just that easy and simple to build, and specifically an invoicing system. There is so many already. You just haven't done the research at all, so you don't know. But, like, to build it makes sense. The thing that you are talking about as well, of I need something to be working out of the get-go, like out the get-go when I'm installing it, will never happen because you can't have something that knows your rate, that knows your behavior, that knows your like current time available, what product you have. The only one that does that is Timely. Still have to do some setup in the beginning, but yeah, you just tell them I have this project and this project running. That's it. So, eh, you know. Um, but also, do you really need to be that fast for invoices? Or can you just be like, it's going to take 2 days to do an invoice? And you do that in Figma. Like, again, in Figma, it's going to be even easier for me to do than what I did in code, because I can ensure that the output is going to be designed as I want it to do, or be designed. Like, going back here, I have my invoice templates here that we used in, like, further longer ago thing. Right now, it's not using any of the components or the thing that we have here, but I can 100% say in my components, here are going to be my initials of, here are the services that I have. And then based on the new viable things, I can say if my hours is a certain amount, it's going to be multiplied by that certain amount for the hour time. That's going to be automated. So that, I mean, you can 100% do that. So I mean, the reason why you're doing this is because you don't trust yourself, and because you can't know, or you want to be precise, which is good. But if you know you work 3 days on that, you work 3 days on that. The fact that it's 6 hours, or like 10 in 3 days, or 15, doesn't really matter. It's 3 days. Like that. As soon as you go into the, oh, I worked exactly 2 hours and 30 minutes on this day, and then 1 hour and 30 here, and then an hour and 15 here, and 255 here. Is it really that necessary? I don't think so. So, I wouldn't. So Prospero, which I sent earlier, is going to give you exactly what you need because it also have predefined pricings for designers, and um, and then yeah, like if I was a freelancer with a lot of clients right now, I would be using Timely for sure. Either Toggle Track or Timely, whichever of the tools, but I would 100% do that just because it is so much faster to know that, oh yeah, you've been on your phone for that amount of time, but on your phone you were on Pinterest for inspiration. So that's research purposes. You used your email client for 15 minutes on that day, and then, it's just easier to just know at the end of the day, you have a recap, specifically with Timely AI, or Memory AI, as they call it, um, which is telling, well, you did all of that, you worked for this client and this client today. Done. For that amount of time. Like it is automated already. So the thing that you have in mind already exists. And same thing as the new school pricing, you know, um, that we talked about last time. That thing, it did some web design. The client is a private client, or maybe it was a large corp. I don't know, whatever. You worked for 25 bucks an hour, really cheap. You worked for 18 hours this month or this week, and then the project is pretty cool, and then will look good in your portfolio, and that's it. That's how you should be paid for this week, if that's your pricing range here. Maybe your pricing range is 65 and you worked for roughly 30 hours this week. Well, that gives you that amount for 1 week. You know, that's potentially enough for that. But Rand here is the one I think that created Prospero, and it would basically give you that ID. Like if you have your time tracking half automated, and if you had your invoicing, which is made inside of here, you know, works. It's not. Yeah, that's why here we have this thing. Is it a private client, which is a small client, or is it something else? Like if it's a private client, small business, they don't have a lot of money, and I'm like, well, my rates are 45 for you. I spent 30 hours. The project was okay, and it will change nothing in my portfolio. So that's the price that they have for a smaller thing, but you can go as low as 1600. Just half of it. The reason why it's doubled is because I say, well, it changed nothing, and it's like, meh. If I say it's boring, it's gonna be a tad more expensive, you know. It works. Like if I say to very good project. It's an awesome project. I love it. I can just be like, it's gonna be cheaper just because I like your whole thing. You know. And it doesn't really matter, but it's a good base. And as you can see, it doesn't requires you to like really greedy say, oh, I spent exactly 3 seconds on this thing. No, it's just like how many roughly? 30? Cool. 300? Maybe at 300 you all paid 25 an hour. You know, it works. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, you want something to create an invoice that is easy for you to manage and use. Prospero is going to be an option. Timely is going to be an option. Togo is going to be an option. And then the other thing that I shared earlier, the QuickBooks, same. Like, yeah, that's about it. So the thought, damn, it's the wrong person. The thoughts in your head are conflicting because you don't know what you want and you don't trust automated things as of right now because you haven't tried them ever. So you don't know how they work, which makes sense, you know. God damn it. Again, Timely is has a trial, I think. Toggle is free. Prospero has a trial, free trial, I think. And QuickBooks also has a free trial. So just register, do a test, and then you'd be good. You know, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Anyways, as always, I'm tired. It is time. I'm sending you to cat. It's Friday, and Clark is not streaming. So, as always, the VOD is going to be on YouTube. The Discord is open if you have questions when I'm not live, and I shall be back live on Monday. You can stalk me online if you want to. And as always, I said a lot of things. If you want to give me money, you can
Mom!
sub, but also you can buy something. Or if you want to learn Japanese, use Can. Can is good. We like Can. Can is nice. Nice cat, you know, all that. Anyways, take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. Eat something, drink something. You know the drill. Apparently, Larkin, you were so close. You lost. Congrats. Good. I'll see you very soon. Bye. Good job. 3 minutes of ads right now. Good timing. Good timing.